Hi, my name's Tara, and I have a BS in BSing from the University of FAFO, and today I want to talk to you about something near and dear to my heart, your nuts. And while I enjoy working in the makerspace with my husband, nobody, especially us, wants to see you end up a cuck. Look, we've all done dumb shit, like stare into a microwave, snort a pixie stick, or peeing on an electric fence. But with age comes wisdom.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
That said, we need to talk about some of the dangers of being in the makerspace. When you heat materials like metals and plastic, it can release toxic fumes into your makerspace with AOE damage ranging from skin irritation to possible testicle shrinkage.
No way!
And one thing I love about the makerspace is watching people overcome everything, even being introverts, to collaborate together and make amazing things. And I would hate to see anyone meet their maker a little too early because they just didn't know. So grab your gas masks and shovels, boys. We're getting in the trenches. Your FDM printer is generally considered safe, but when you print with more extreme compounds like ABS or ASA, they release a compound that the Environmental Protection Agency can neither confirm nor deny having negative side effects on human reproduction. Based on information compiled by the Environmental Protection Agency, chronic exposure to styrene can cause headaches, fatigue, weakness, depression, and central nervous system dysfunction. Did I lose you on that one? Let me break it down for you. ABS and ASA contain styrene that when it's run through the hot end of your printer, that styrene is released into your print space and you're breathing it in. One part that no one likes to address is chemical sensitization due to some of these compounds being forever chemicals. Basically, our bodies have no way to purge them, and as these compounds start to build up, all of them start flaming up your immune response with each new exposure. Remember, where this stuff lands in your body is based on a DNA lottery. If it happens to land in your stem cells, you might end up with germ cell mutagenicity. Mutagenicity. Which basically means your DNA can mutate. But the most likely outcome is Il Cancerino.
You're clowning. You're not clowning. I sense clown.
Other health hazard options from toxicity RNG Jesus include respiratory and skin sensitization. This can cause allergy-type symptoms like skin rash, asthma, or difficulty breathing. Reproductive toxicity can damage your ability to sexually function, permanently inhibit your ability to make swimmers, or cause birth defects or miscarriages in unborn children. This is the type of shit that can shrink your balls. Single target organ toxicity means it might attack your thyroid or it could make your intestines bleed. You're basically rolling the dice to see what organ is affected. This can be extremely dangerous, especially if the cells getting targeted are 100% necessary for your meat suit to function. If these compounds go after your pancreas and destroy your Isles of Langerhans, congratulations, you've won the most messed up way to have to order diabetes supplies for the rest of your life. Could you imagine trying to explain that on a Tinder date? Plus, those ultrafine particles that can't pass into your bloodstream can build up in your lungs' alveolar sacs to the point that you have trouble breathing. That's right, you can 3D print COPD. In a study titled Investigating Environmentally Persistent Free Radicals Emissions of 3D Printing Process, researchers found that printing with the same brand of ABS filament in 2 different colors drastically changed the heavy metal content of the fumes released. Sure, PLA is generally considered harmless, but I'm old enough to remember that they used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola. We all know the difference between a conspiracy theory and a fact is about a year. I know this might sound crazy, but Napoleon's green wallpaper may have given him arsenic poisoning. And we know that emeraldine dyed fabrics can cause blisters and skin irritations. Most additive manufacturers won't bankroll research on every color or variant of product that they offer because of the inordinate cost of research. So for the time being, just assume your favorite hazmat meme applies. Remember the old adage of whoever smelt it dealt it, except this time it was your 3D printer and not the dog. That scent is made up of volatile organic compounds floating in the air, and in layman's terms, these are particles that are released during the exchange of energy, in this case, the 3D printing process. And while your filament doesn't require the use of photoinitiators, your resin printer does. This compound actually adds an additional modifier to the game, which can be dangerous. The energy they emit when excited by ultraviolet light starts a chain reaction, causing the free-floating monomers and oligomers to form into polymer chains and harden. This is how your resin printer works. Unfortunately, once they've been excited and their bonds break, what's left is a free radical. These highly reactive compounds are off-gassed into your print space as potentially DNA-altering gas. Look, if you've made it this far, any hobby has the potential to become dangerous, whether it's skydiving or drag racing. So we put together a few things that we've learned about safety along our journey. First off, limit your exposure. I know you like to watch, but don't dilly-dally. Get done and get out. Your 3D printer's stench is made up of volatile organic compounds floating in the air like a miasma. In case of resin printers, when UV light activates photoinitiators, these little guys explode and this off-gasses potentially DNA-wrecking free radicals into your print space. So cover yourself up. Long sleeves, pants, shoes, goggles, and a respirator. Some of these are environmentally persistent free radicals, meaning they can stay dangerous for extended periods of time, up to years later. So regardless of what you've seen on YouTube, please don't put your printer in the bathroom.
I put my 3D printer in the bathroom.
Sure, the fan in theory could act as a fume extractor,
Suck.
but it won't suck everything out. Remember, what goes up must come down, and your counter surfaces, toothbrush, and toilet seat make a fine landing space for those EPFRs. What about those USB air filters? In my experience, they do
Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
The small quantity of activated carbon does not capture enough VOCs to make a dent, and there's very little research on its effectiveness against environmentally persistent free radicals. For reference, this is our Century air hood. It has a HEPA filter and 26 pounds of activated carbon. Even at this scale, we have to change it every 6 months. Are you sure you want to trust your health to what's essentially an aquarium tank filter? Ideally, you'll need a well-ventilated area to print. A garage or a shed make great options, but you can do it in a spare bedroom. If you do choose to do it in your bedroom, make sure you look into an inline exhaust fan. You can pick one up on Amazon for like $50, and Once in a Six Side has a fantastic video on how to make one. We'll put a link in the box below to check it out. I would highly recommend picking up an air quality monitor. No, they probably aren't calibrated and they're not going to tell you what you're inhaling, but it's a good reminder to put on your mask. You're not Superman, and if you are, this may well be your kryptonite. We got this one from Amazon, the purveyor of fine electronics, built by the lowest bidder. So keep in mind that your average air quality monitor has a maximum readability limit that may max out at a healthy range, but that doesn't mean it's healthy.
It's not through the round, Ken. It's 15,000.
Speaking of which, inhalation is how you expose yourself to the most toxins. 3M makes a solid respirator option that we use in the studio every day, and it's been a game changer. I'll post an affiliate link down below for the ones that we use, but please keep in mind, I don't care what brand you use as long as you're protecting yourself. Please remember to wear a respirator even if you're in a well-ventilated area. Being close to your printer is where you're going to get the most exposure. If you're new to all of this, a good place to start is the manufacturer's safety data sheets, or SDS. It's a great first step to protecting yourself instead of attending FAFO. If you're not familiar with how to read them, there's a link below with more information, but here's the gist of it. An SDS is the no-flare meat and potatoes scientific data set for materials. It explains what it is, who made it, where it was made, and if it's hazardous, how to prevent a hazard, and what to do in the event of one.
Hello, operator. Give me the number for 911.
They will also clearly display hazard icons, and here are a few you might see around the makerspace. Flame. It's pretty self-explanatory, and you'll probably see it on your IPA bottle. Biohazardous infectious materials. Lord help us if you see this on a resin bottle. This is a dystopian grimdark fantasy I'm not ready for. Exclamation mark means it causes short-term harm like skin blisters and irritation, so try not to get it on you. If you see the environment label, make sure you double check the disposal methods on this one. And for anybody still using water washable resins and throwing it down the toilet or washing it down the sink, you're trusting the government to filter that out of our tap water. Yeah.
I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Health hazards. I went through these earlier, but pay special attention if you see this icon. Read the whole section and make sure you completely understand the risks before you use it. Safety data sheets should be readily available, and most manufacturers have a dedicated page on their website. If you're having any trouble finding it, a quick search for SDS will usually pull it up, but if you still can't find it, don't hesitate to reach out to a manufacturer and ask. Also, shout out to Siraya-Tech for just openly admitting this is a dangerous sport and freely offering their SDS links on their resin. This openness and transparency, as well as the consistent quality of prints we get, is a big reason we're using their products here at Mediocre. If a manufacturer refuses to give you an SDS sheet, do not buy from them. That is shady AF. Also keep in mind that manufacturers work in trade secrets, so all of the ingredients on there are going to be as vague as humanly possible while still maintaining GHS classification requirements. Bottom line, we're playing on hardcore mode and there are no respawns in this game. At the end of the day, the only person that's going to look out for you is you. And you make the makerspace a better place. And we like having you around. Anyway, if I'm completely wrong, please let me know down in the comments. It's the only way I'm going to get better. If you haven't checked out our previous video, we're still giving away some 3D printers, so we would love you to check them out and come back and see us again soon. You should have turned the fucking camera on the first time.